Hey guys, it's CK at CK Education, and today I want to talk about the important topic of the fear of failure. And I think that so many people are stagnant, they're held back, they're paralyzed, metaphorically speaking, because they fear failure too much. Now, failure is something that everyone fears. Nobody likes to or wants to fail. And when most people think about failing, um, they don't feel very good about that. It's not happy thoughts. Okay, nobody enjoys failing. However, what you think about your failures will largely depend on whether you succeed or not in whatever you're trying to do. I mean, I'm not just talking about business or making money or your career. In anything that you do, if you fear failure so much that it prevents you from making progress, then you just won't be successful in that thing. Understand that everybody fails. It's not a matter of will I fail. You will fail. You will fail in big ways and in small ways. But the fact that you failed doesn't mean that it's the end of that thing. And this is where I think a lot of people go wrong. They failed in something, so they feel like, well, that's it for that. I can't do that anymore. You know, I read a statistic a while ago that something like 80% of small business entrepreneurs in America fail within their first year. That's a staggering number. That's a high percent. Like nearly almost all of the small businesses that open up in America fail within their first year. But the story doesn't end there. Of the 80% that failed, when they try their second year, a vast majority of them, or a large percentage of them, succeed. And then of the ones who still failed their second year, when they try again their third year, almost all of them succeed. Now, so it seems that in that scenario, the only people who don't succeed are the people who stop trying. And this is where a lot of people are. They just stop trying. Well, I tried that thing, but it didn't work, so I guess it's not for me. I guess I can't do it. But this understanding that failure is just another stepping stone, a learning process to get to the next level is so important. And this is how you should think of failure. It's not, well, I can't do it. It's, well, it didn't work this time, but what did I learn from this failure? And what I learned from that will help me maybe get a little bit farther the next time. And the person who persists like that is a person who is much more likely to succeed. Because the alternative is, if you stop, then you just will never succeed in that thing. Okay? It's like a person who goes on a date and says, well, that was a terrible date. I had a terrible experience. I guess dating isn't for me. I guess relationships are not for me. I guess marriage is not for me. And they just never get married. They will never experience what it is to be married if they give up after the first date, right? If someone tries to do a homework assignment and tries it and they turn it in and they get a D or they fail that, they get an F. Well, I guess school isn't for me. I guess academics isn't for me. I'm just not cut out for that. That's ridiculous, right? Sometimes you're going to fail, but adults do this all the time. I tried business. I mean, I tried it one time and I guess, I didn't do very well. So I guess it's not for me. Now, I do understand that sometimes some things are not for some people. That's for sure. But that's a different thing than you not wanting to even try to get better or go to the next level because solely for the reason that you failed. Because I failed, because it didn't turn out the way I wanted, I guess it's never going to work. You really want to do it, but you just stop because you just are too afraid. When I was in graduate school, we had a small cohort of students. We had about, I think, 20 students, and we started out together. And for about 2.5 years, we studied. We took all the same classes. We just went through the whole graduate experience together. That was kind of cool because you really got to know people well. and I got to know my colleagues and my classmates, and we all knew about each other. So by that time, I had started my education business, and people knew that I was doing that. I had a much more flexible schedule than they did, and and I was enjoying a lot more freedom because I had my own business. And so several of my classmates came up to me and said, "Hey, Charles, man, I would really like to do what you do. I mean, not teaching, but I mean, I'd really like to do what you do." And they meant, quit their 9 to 5 job and do their own thing and have their own, pursue their own passions. And here's what they said, though: "I would love to do what you do, but I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid." And I said, "What are you afraid of?" And they said, "Well, like the income gap. If I stop doing this job and then I try something and this doesn't make me enough money, how do I make a living? How do I feed my family?" And so on and so forth. And I told them this. I said, "Do you not think that I had those same fears? I mean, I had those fears too. Well, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't make enough money? What if, whatever?" Everybody has those fears. That's a totally normal thing. But the difference is I didn't let that stop me. I didn't let that paralyze me. I thought, well, yeah, so what do I have to do? Well, probably before you leave your 9 to 5 job, you should probably have a good sum of money saved up, because as soon as you quit that, your income stops coming in. So you should have some money saved up so that you have something to tide you over while you're building your new thing, whatever that is, right? So there are things that you can do so that you can ensure that the outcome is better, rather than just saying, "Well, I'm afraid, I don't know how to do it, so I guess I won't." And then the 20 years later, you still regret, "Man, maybe 20 years ago, I should have done that. I should have taken that step." But if you just stop with, "But I'm afraid," and you stop there, then you just make no progress at all. Okay? It's the same thing with your kids. It's the same thing with everything. If you don't have a good relationship with your kids, so you say, "Well, I tried talking to them one time. They just wouldn't talk to me. So I guess, I don't know. I'm done. I give up. I tried." You can't just try one time. I mean, especially if you have a teenager, the teenager that's just the way they react sometimes. They're annoyed more easily. So instead of trying one time, you just have to think, "You know what? In the end, I want a good relationship with my child. So I'm never going to give up." You just never give up. Okay? It's like if you start your own business, you say, "Well, I tried it, but I don't know. It's just really, it's not going very well. I just don't know what to do." But rather than staying down and depressed and, blaming yourself, think of ways like, what's the problem? What is the thing? Is there something else I have to learn? Is there something else I have to do? Am I thinking about things the wrong way? And you got to think, "You know what? I don't have a choice. I'm going to make it work. I have to make it work." Because the other alternative is I just sit and pout and nothing happens. So I have to make it work. And so you keep persisting until it works. You just keep persisting until it works. So many people are so afraid of failure that they just don't succeed in whatever they're trying to do. I think one of the biggest reasons people are afraid of failure is not so much the setback of the failure itself. I think people are afraid of what other people might say, what other people might think, what other people might do. Will they leave me? Will they make fun of me? Will they ridicule me? Will they criticize me? Will they laugh at me? Will they say things behind my back? Will they make fun of me? Will they not be my friends anymore? What will they think of me? Will they look down on me? And the question to all of those things could be, yes, that's possible. It's very possible that that might happen. But you still keep going, because all of those things could happen. But if you want to succeed in your thing, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. Let me tell you a story of a person that I knew, and this person needed some extra income. And this person decided that he was going to work in a local retail company. Okay. But it wasn't a really high paid position. It was more of a food service, and it's more a little bit above minimum wage. But he took this job because he needed the money. Okay, so he takes the job and he goes in there and works, and works hard. But every day, what consumes his mind is, what if there's someone, like what if a customer comes up and it's someone that I know and they see me working here? Man, how embarrassing would that be? And so when this person got even an opportunity in a relatively short period of time, this person got an opportunity to get promoted. Instead of taking that opportunity, this person just went and got something else, did something else. Now, this company that this person was in had treated its employees very well. Long term would have actually been a pretty good career if this person would have stuck to it and would have kept improving and kept moving up. But this person instead took a position that really there's no future there. But at least to this person, well, people won't laugh at me working here. So there's a very short-sighted way of thinking. Rather than thinking 3 years, 4 years, 5 years later, what will I be doing and what I could be doing, this person decided it's better to just not get laughed at. But here's the thing. Who was laughing? Nobody's laughing. It was in their own mind. Nobody's laughing at this person. And even if someone had laughed at them, so what? You just do what you got to do, and don't be afraid of failure. Have more confidence in yourself. So rather than having, fearing failure, fearing what other people might say, think, or do, just focus on your goal and think long term. What's going on right now is not permanent. It's a temporary state, and I just have to get through this to get to the next level and the next level. Whenever people said discouraging things to me when I was in a situation in which I didn't want to really be in that situation, I wanted to be here, but I was here, I always said to myself, well, people might think of me in a certain way, or they might say certain things or whatever, but I'm not going to be here forever. And given time, with enough time, people will see, those same people will see that I got to this level. And I'm not doing it to show people. I'm not doing it to show people off or anything like that. But it's just a motivating factor. And I don't let what people think, say, or do deter what I think I need to do to reach my goals in whatever areas of life that I need to do that to. So do that in. So I encourage you to don't let fear stop you. Don't let the fear of failure stop you. Okay? Don't be so consumed by what other people might say, think, or do. Just focus on the thing you have to do. Focus on the people you love that you have to do that for. And just keep going and plow through until you get a breakthrough. So that's what I would encourage you to do. And I think if you do that, you'll find much more success. You'll find much more happiness. And you'll just achieve and experience things that you would not otherwise have done. So I encourage you to do that. And I hope that the video was helpful to you. And until my next video, I hope you stay well.